Hey guys, it's Jeremiah. Let's cook something good. Hey guys, what's going on tonight for dinner? We're making enfrijoladas, which is something my mother-in-law makes. They're delicious tortillas folded with meat or anything else you want to stuff them with, potatoes, covered in beans. So let's cook something good. We're gonna need beans for our enfrijoladas, and what I'm using is some organic black beans. These are dry beans, so I'm gonna need to cook them in my pressure cooker. You can also use canned black beans as well. I prefer to just make my own beans. That way I can have a pot of beans in the fridge all week. We can use them for breakfast, for snacks, for whatever we really want. We're also gonna need some tortillas. We are using our corn tortillas here. I also have some meat that I cooked down. It's just ground beef cooked down with some tomatoes and some onion and some garlic that I actually had from the other day when we had tacos. So we're gonna actually use some leftovers for that as well. To cook our beans, we're gonna use a pressure cooker. If you don't have a pressure cooker, you can use a regular pot. A pressure cooker will cut the time in about half, so these beans will probably cook for about 40 minutes. I think I have a pound of beans here. All we're gonna do is take our lid off. We're gonna pour our beans in, and then we're gonna cover them with water. I used to screw up beans all the time and not put enough water, so when you think you put enough water, which usually I would say that's enough, put about double that. This pressure cooker is gonna cook it off and steam it off really fast, so that way you don't have to try to open it and mess with it. You just leave it. About 40 minutes, you're gonna have beans. We're just gonna salt them, and I would say heavily salt them. So I'm also gonna make some guacamole to put on the side of our enfrijoladas. I'm just gonna take some avocados, jalapenos, and a red onion, and some cilantro, and we're gonna mix that up. For our avocados, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our knife, we're gonna run it around our avocado, like so. We're gonna twist it apart, and the pit will be on one side. All we're gonna do is take the back end of our knife, slam it into the pit, twist, pull out, and we'll discard that later. We'll scoop out our avocado. Well, sometimes it comes out whole, sometimes it doesn't. And then we'll put that in our bowl and start mashing it up. We're also gonna dice up an onion. The way we're gonna do that is we're gonna take our onion, it has this tail end. All I'm gonna do is slice that off, throw that away. We'll slice it in half, and then we're gonna peel off the outer layer of the onion. Sometimes it comes off very easily, sometimes it doesn't. And a trick with onions, if they do make you cry, you could turn on the kitchen sink. Onions are drawn to your tear ducts, and they'll be drawn to the water faucet instead of your tear ducts. So we're gonna take this onion now, and I'm gonna run my knife horizontally through it. We wanna get small enough pieces to where they're bite-sized in our guacamole. We always wanna just hold our onion to make sure that it's steady. And then I'm gonna take my knife and run it vertically through. And then we're just gonna run it across. And we're gonna have nice, even pieces that we're gonna throw in our bowl. We're also gonna add jalapeno to our guacamole, because what would it be without a little bit of heat? We are gonna add one, we might add another one depending on how hot this is. What we're gonna do is take the top off with the stem, then we're gonna slice it in half. We're actually gonna discard the seeds and all this little veining, because that's actually what's really spicy in it. We're just gonna run our knife along the edges and take it out, and then we'll knock out the seeds. Then we will slice it up. We're gonna try to get the same size pieces as our onion. We'll take those and then run our knife along this way, and then add that to our guacamole. I have my cilantro here, and you can see it's in a glass jar. With all your herbs, what you can do is get them home from the store, wash them, cut them, put them in a jar with some water, and they'll last you about a week, week and a half. We're just gonna take some of this cilantro out, about a handful or so. And with this, it's gonna be chopped up so fine that I'm actually gonna use the stems as well. Normally you would take the leaves off the stems, but for this, we're just gonna use the stems. So we're just gonna cut it really finely, and then we'll throw that in our bowl. We have 3 avocados, half an onion, a bunch of cilantro, a handful of cilantro, and 1 jalapeno. To that, we're gonna add about a tablespoon of salt and a couple turns from our pepper mill. And then we're gonna take this is a bean masher, and we're gonna mash up our avocado. I know some people use a knife, some use a fork. I like this because sometimes if the avocados are a little hard, you could really get through them with this thing. I do know that they actually make an avocado masher that you could buy as well. We're gonna do that, and then we'll mix it all together. We don't want our avocado to be like pulverized. We want it to still have a little bit of texture to it. We'll get it to that point, and then we'll put it off to the side and serve it with our food. Okay, so our beans are done. It's been about 40 minutes. We just want to wait for our steam to dissipate, and then we're going to flip this from locked to unlock. We're going to open it up, and our beans are very well cooked. We're going to take these, and we're going to take a couple ladles full, and we actually want to take the water as well. We're going to add these to a blender. And then once they're in our blender, we're just going to put it, we're going to turn on the power first, and then we're going to turn it on low first, and then we're just going to take it to kind of a medium. And we don't want them to be completely liquefied. We want them to have some chunks to them still. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm looking for right there. We need to cook our tortillas. I put some avocado oil in my cast iron pan here. I'm just gonna get it warm and move the avocado oil all around. And then I'm just gonna put a couple tortillas in there. We don't want these to fry or really cook or get any color. We just want them to soften up. So we're just gonna give them a couple seconds on each side, and then we'll give them a flip, and a flip, and we should be good. So now that everything's done, we're going to assemble. So we're gonna take a tortilla, we're gonna put it on our plate. We're gonna take a little bit of our meat filling that we warmed up. We're gonna lay that in there. You can put as little or as much as you want. We are going to take a little bit of our beans on the inside. Then we're gonna fold this over. And then the point of these is just to cover the whole outside of them with beans. We're gonna take some of our Queso Fresco that I have here. We're gonna crumble it up on top. Then I'm gonna take some of this micro cilantro that I got today. We're gonna put that on there as well. And then we can't forget our guacamole. And we're ready to eat. One side note for these is my mother-in-law actually makes them with pinto beans, not with black beans. I chose black beans, but originally they're supposed to be with pinto. We're gonna give this a try and see how we did. I'm gonna take a little bit of guacamole here. Make sure we get a little cheese, a little bit of that cilantro. Perfect. I think I'm gonna give her a run for her money on these ones.